Hi Aquarius, my sun sign brothers and sisters. Welcome to your week ahead tarot with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and it resonates, hit that subscribe button. If you are already a continued subby, you know I love you for it. With that said, if you would like to book your personal reading with me, you can do so on the website address below. And before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help us all on our path to our highest vibrational good. So just to let you know, whenever I do a reading for a specific sign, what I am actually reading is the energy for that sign. So whether you're a sun, moon or ascendant Aquarius, this is for you. How it applies to your own life, you have to take time to think about it, right? I'm not giving you this is exactly what's going to be your life. You have to think about how to use these opportunities should they show up, how to sidestep the challenges should they show up, and ultimately how to enhance the blessings should they show up. With that said, for our key to the week, we have the Lovers card. This is about us being in that spirit. This is about us really, and you guys know me, I very rarely do the whole love reading thing. Just soapbox moment. But this week I actually feel like this is where our focus is. And I think a lot of it comes down to self-love. I think this week we're going to be very focused on how we view ourselves. Do we actually love ourselves? It's one thing to like yourself and to look after yourself and do what you need to keep yourself happy, well, healthy, let's say. But it's another thing to really be in that energy of saying, you know what, I actually love myself enough to do what needs to be done, to not do what I know isn't good for me, and ultimately to look after myself the way that I would look after another. And the reason this is so important for Aquarius people is because how we care for the collective is very rarely how we care for ourselves. I know this because I am a sun sign Aquarius. I have the sun at 14 degrees and my sun is basically, in fact, not even basically, my sun is unaspected. So it sits on its own there, bang, in the center of Aquarius. And what that means is, you know, my energy is literally in the middle of the sign of Aquarius, right? So I get it. I understand how we operate, and it's taken me a long time to figure that out. The fact that we have the Lovers as the key to the week is really asking us, how can we love ourselves enough in all of these areas of our lives to really do what needs to be done, and to really take the time to say, you know what, how am I going to get through this in a way that is actually beneficial to me as well as everybody else? This is about, this week Aquarius, you've got to insert yourself into the whole, right? That's not, that sounds really grim. You've got to insert yourself into the group, into the collective, into the wider world stage in some respect, right? Let me put it that way. On the other hand of this, there are a whole bunch of decisions to be made. Remember, the Lovers card is about choice. It's about the options that you have. So let's have a look. For our actions and options, we have the Five of Swords. This week you have to pick your battles wisely. Remember, Mars is retrograde this week. In fact, as of now, the day that I'm recording this, Mars is retrograde. And the thing that you really want to be aware of with this, anything that you initiate, anything that you instigate, especially where it is that you are having to battle somebody, the chances are you're going to fall on your own sword. Whatever is presented to you as an attack, as a fight or whatever this week, let it come and let it go. All right, that is the biggest thing that comes up, because your Five of Swords, this could see you wanting to argue the toss about a point, you know, to really, like, you know, I feel like I need to. We're very opinionated, let's be honest. I'm an Aquarius and I tell you, we are probably the most opinionated sign, and we can be really hard-headed when we want to be. You know, ultimately we are Saturn ruled after all. Let's not, you know, get it twisted in any way, shape or form. However, this week you are going to have to really bite your tongue. And this isn't about choosing to be silenced. It's not about allowing yourself to be censored. It's about allowing yourself to say, this is actually a waste of energy. It's a waste of my time. It's not worth me getting into. For our communications and conversations, we have the Death card. I think that's pretty self-explanatory with what comes up there with the Five of Swords, right? So whatever it is that comes up this week, something, and the way that I actually feel this is going to play out, something is going to be revealed to you, right? Something is probably going to be, some secret is going to come out, some piece of knowledge or information that you didn't have before, that you weren't privy to, something that may have very likely happened behind your back, or without you being aware or not in your presence, is going to come to light this week. And your first instinct, Aquarius, is going to be to do the Five of Swords. I'm going to go, right? And this is the thing with our energy. I'm going to be really honest. You know, when we want to, because we can be that cold, aloof, detached energy, if we go in to really, really hit a point home, we are, you know, we can really do a lot of damage verbally, right? Which is the truth of the matter. And I'm not saying that as a boast. I'm just being, you know, with the facts right now. With that Five of Swords, that's what you're going to want to do. Remember, it's a Mars retrograde. Anything that you start, anything that you instigate is likely to be blown out of all proportion, and it's probably going to bite you in the butt. If not, you will probably fall on your own sword. So this week, find a way to curb that. Use that energy. It's not necessarily, I'm not saying to you like, you know, turn the other cheek. What I'm saying to you is, if you're going to need to battle this, then you must be strategic about it first of all, and you really have to take a moment to count to 10, right? And when I say count to 10, I'm talking proverbially here. And the reason I say that is because the Mars retrograde season is going to last this whole of autumn. So there may be some moments starting this very week, there may be some moments where you think, wow, that was a real wrong'un that somebody's done me there. You're going to have to find a way to deal with that, to keep it as a thought, but detach the emotion from it, because that's what's going to, otherwise you'll just do the Aquarius thing and charge straight off into it, and you know, it could get gnarly. For our money and materials, we have the Queen of Wands. Now this is great, right? Because it looks like you're setting some really firm boundaries when it comes to your finances. This could be a week where, as well, you are saying to yourself, right, you know what? That's fine. All of that can happen. All of that can come up the way that it ever, you know, let everyone act how they want to. I'm going after this, right? I'm going to find whatever is relevant or important to me, which is my long-term future goal, whatever that might be for you. That's going to be different for everyone, right? And I'm going for that, right? That is what my heart is being pulled to that. So you know what? I'm not even going to focus on that crap and you and all of the stuff that you're trying to bring me. I'm going to focus on what is my true north from this moment on. Remember, your Queen of Wands as well can be a fire sign person, fire sign woman usually. This would be an Aries, a Leo, or a Sagittarius could feature for you. Off the back of that death card, I would say this is likely to be an Aries person. Now, one thing that I want to say about that, because you've got the Five of Swords above, do not let this person drag you into some sort of unnecessary drama. If they get themselves into a certain experience or whatever, you need to be very, very clear on what you are prepared to go to war for. Because remember, even if it's not you instigating it and it's somebody else, you might end up footing the blame for this person falling on their sword. Do you know what I mean? So this is a week to be really very cautious about what you're allowing yourself to be tied to. On another note, for your physical health, this could be a week where you're really focused on your physical health and vitality. This could be a week where you're saying, no, you know what, I'm going to put myself first for a change. And that doesn't, you know, it doesn't make you selfish. It doesn't make you self-centered to put yourself first for a while. Sometimes it actually makes you better for the collective. Sometimes it makes you better as a humanitarian because your own batteries are recharged. For your home and environment, you might have to this week really set some very firm boundaries around family members, around people that are in the home. This could be a week where you really have to kind of find a way to set those boundaries without losing your shit. All right. For your love and relations, you've got the High Priestess. So for those of you that are single, could be a secret admirer, could be somebody that is or has been lusting after you for some time. It could be somebody that you've had a crush on for some time, and now you're like, you know what, I'm not holding this back anymore, I'm just going to talk about it. I mean, you know, there are worse ways to get your frustration out, right? On that note, I'll say no more. For those of you that are partnered, for those of you that are long-term commitment, married, all the rest of it, this could be that your partner finally feels ready to share something with you. It might be a secret desire of theirs. It may be, you know, maybe some that's maybe not necessarily dinner table talk. But, you know, they want to share it with you all together. Now, when it comes to relationships, when it comes to connections, when it comes to familial ties this week, you are about to learn something. Now, it's really interesting that these cards have come up, that it's come up this way. And the reason I say that is because I can't go into it because it's just too long. But the dream that I had yesterday, basically, for these cards have told me exactly what my dream told me. So there may be some challenging news that comes up this week, something that you didn't know, something that you weren't aware of. Now, interestingly enough, the High Priestess and the Death card, if I were reading for a specific person and I saw those, the signature is a medium. This is somebody that communes with spirits, or, you know, those that have passed. The fact that these two have come up here in your love and relations, in your communications and conversations, somebody in the spirit world, a lost loved one, you know, a distant relative, somebody that you were close to that is in the spirit world, is reaching out to bring you a message. They are trying to communicate with you. Pay attention to your dreams, pay attention to your hunches. If you hear something that reminds you of somebody that has long since shuffled off the mortal coil, pay attention, because that's them trying to get a message to you. It was a very interesting read this week for us, for sure. I'm really, really intrigued. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. If it's not too personal, it's not too crazy, let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.